Quentin, why don't you go ahead and give yours?
Um, let's try one that might be a little bit harder. I wanted you guys to think a little bit more. This one's game related, and we are both. Mm, yeah, I think you are both educated enough and experienced enough to debate equally on this. My topic of debate is with the Legend of Zelda series. And it is, should Legend of Zelda, the game creators, the story writers, should they focus on implementing voice acting? Because they have been doing that in the recent games of adding voice
Oh.
acting, having the characters speak. Or should they just stick to keeping the characters quiet? Sure, there's always that dialogue box.
Hmm.
Yeah. Should there be voice acting in the Legend of Zelda series?
This is a Brennan approved
hmm
topic right here. He would
I was thinking this is more Brennan approved, but I was like, you know what? Screw Brennan.
no, but
Brennan,
like
if you're watching this, I hate you.
yeah, Brett. No, this is one that he would like to like. If I told him that we were doing this, he would want to like specifically watch this one. I think.
Yeah. Oh, well, then
Um,
just kidding, Brennan. I love you.
yeah, I love you, Brennan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mwah. So okay, so I just have a quick clarification question.
Yeah.
When you say voice acting in the Zelda series, do you mean like amongst everyone, or like can it be like just the side characters, not necessarily Link, or do you mean like is it all or nothing?
I think when I mean voice acting at all.
Oh,
You could
okay,
potentially like talk about Link having voice acting
right.
or having the side characters having voice acting, but I just mean like any voice acting.
Okay, I see.
The
Gotcha.
characters having dialogue that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Ella, why don't you call the coin flip?
All right, let's go with Lucky Heads.
Okay.
Yeah, this one might be a thinker, huh?
Hmm.
Oh, it's tails. Okay, so
Oh, you get to pick. Oh, shit.
I know I get to pick. I get to pick my side again. Okay, this is actually tough because I don't necessarily know which one I personally. I've never thought about this a whole lot before, so I don't know which necessarily I would be more likely to want. I am going to debate for the side of no voice acting, but that means I
All right.
do have to go first.
I
So
somehow found my phone. I don't know how. I must have instinctually found it, so I'm gonna start the timer now.
okay, all right.
Let me know
So
whenever you're ready.
I think I'm ready. I think I could do this.
All right, starting now.
Okay, so I'm a big Nintendo fan, and I'm up with like a lot of the debates around Nintendo games, and one of the ones that a lot of people say is like, should Nintendo games in general have voice acting? And Zelda is a big example of one that a lot of people debate, like, oh, should it have voice acting or not? And Breath of the Wild had voice acting. Tears of the Kingdom has voice acting. Maybe not as much as like a lot of the bigger games, but definitely still implemented, although Link does not talk. I want to say that I think no voice acting is actually a lot more powerful than people give it credit for. I think that if you're able to communicate feelings and thoughts through a story without like voice, that actually shows a lot of skill in the direction of the game itself, and the gameplay, the characters, even like reading like text from a box. Like if you're able to convey a similar amount of emotion and heart through just written dialogue, I think that shows a lot of like just like how good the story really is, or how good the characters
I'm
really are. And yeah, that's it.
very strong argument. Yeah.
All right.
Give you some time to think. Let me know whenever you're ready. No stress, no stress.
Uh,
A lot of stress actually from me.
yeah, I think I'm ready.
All right, you ready? All right, I'll start you off in three, two, and a one.
I do kind of believe both ways personally, but one reason I think that voice acting is good is that Nintendo has always been a really good bridge between casual gamers and long-term gamers who it's a very big part of their life. I think that casual gamers appreciate things like that more, like getting to see pretty visuals and getting to hear voices that will help them remember characters better. Um, and I think it's not necessarily something that will take away as much as it would add to the game. I think that with the open world nature that Breath of the Wild brought, there's just a lot more life to the world, and especially to NPCs and characters getting to go to different towns and multiple towns you never got to go to in previous Zelda games. I think that the voice acting does a lot. It does a lot for representing the different kinds of people. The fact that there's bird people and people who live in the desert and things like that.
Time.
That's my thoughts.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
I always like think about stuff that I wish I said in my argument after
True.
the
Yeah.
fact, you know.
Oh, yeah. I first I want to say very strong arguments from both. I once again I was like, oh, Antonio's selling it very strong here. First, I want to say, what I liked for I guess I'll start with Antonio since he started first. What I really liked about yours is you talked about sort of like it's the lack of voice acting is almost like a creative choice. Like it's like you yourself kind of get to fill in the gaps, and it's kind of like if they perform it well enough. You don't need you can pass the boundary of not having that voice, having that audio visual or audio section of it. Ella, what you talked about is how voice acting is very like digestible between people, and like for the casual gamers, which is something that Nintendo really likes to strive for, is that it voice acting makes it very easy to digest, and especially with the new direction. You even mentioned the new direction that Breath of the Wild is taking in the Legend of Zelda series. It's kind of more appropriate for it to have voice acting. Those are both very good. Oh man. Okay.
Ella, you are a strong debater. You're a strong adversary.
You're a strong.
I have to say.
I guess you could say you're both master baiters.
I agree.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. No, I'm sorry. I'm stalling. Okay.
No, it's tough to pick right away. You know, it's
I
like
think. Okay. Me personally, I think I'm trying. I don't want to throw. I'm saying this so I can acknowledge my biases. Is that me personally? I prefer if there was voice acting in the Legend of Zelda series. I think you get to know the characters more. But I think I might have to give this point to Antonio because that I really do like how it's like if Nintendo is strong enough, if their storytelling is great enough, they don't need that voice acting boundary or aspect.
It's like I'd say like actually like I am in the middle somewhere between the two arguments. Like I do think voice acting helps a lot, but I also do like I like kind of like what you said. I do think that the lack of voice acting has kind of become like a staple of Nintendo games in a lot of ways. Like it's kind of like they roll without it, and I kind of respect that in a sense because it kind of makes them stick out a little bit. But I do think voice acting could help in.
No, I'm not a debater in this subject, but I think voice acting adds a lot of character because the voice actors can add personality into the characters. And
yes,
something I really love is falling in love with these characters.
Yeah.
So I do support voice acting, but yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.